Hello everyone, welcome. So my question to you all is why you look exactly like your father and why your sister looks exactly like your mother and not the vice versa. Okay, so in this session we are going to discuss how characters are being transferred and what this transfer of character is known as. Okay, so as you can see the terms heredity and evolution on the screens, we are going to discuss these terms and discuss them in detail what they mean. Fine, let's start with heredity first. So what is heredity? Heredity is the transfer of characteristics from parents to the offspring, and this heredity is also known as inheritance. Okay, so what are the different traits? Traits class, we can call them characteristics or trait. They are the similar terms. Traits like eye color and height are transferred from parents to offspring, and these characters which are passed on, they are also known as hereditary characteristics. Fine. So till now we have understood about heredity and hereditary characteristics. Let's take an example. In this example, as you can notice, dad, son and mom, they are sharing some common features, some common traits or some common characteristics, we can say. Dad and son have similar eyes and ears, while son and mom have similar color of hair and height. So these characteristics, hereditary characteristics, are eyes, ear, hair and height. Yes, these are the four hereditary characteristics, and in this picture son has received eyes and ear characteristics of eyes and ear from dad, and from mom he has received hair and height characteristics. It's fine. So now let us know how the son has received them from parents, how these traits are being passed on from parents to offsprings. What's the reason behind that? So let us dive directly into the cell. The body is made up of cell, the fundamental unit of life, and we have studied that inside the cell there is a nucleus which is present at the center of the cell, and this nucleus contains thread-like structures. Thread-like structures, as you can see in the picture, these thread-like structures are known as chromosomes, and these thread-like structures are made up of DNA. Yes, so what is this DNA? Why we are discussing this all? Because how the traits are being passed on from parents to offspring. The answer to this question is this is because of this chromosomes, which is made up of DNA, and inside this DNA the basic unit of heredity is present, and we call it genes, right? So chromosomes are the basis of heredity, and they always occur in pair. And on the other hand, the chromosomes are made up of DNA molecules packed together, as we have seen in the diagram, and these chromosomes are made up of thousands of genes. And what are these genes? They are the short sections of DNA, and this genes is the basic functional unit of heredity, and this gene is only responsible for the transfer of characteristics from parents to their offsprings. The similarity which we have discussed, like in the example son and mom and dad, thus hair, eye color, hair color and height, they were being these characters were being transferred from parents to their offsprings, and this was because of the genes present inside the chromosomes. So now the question comes to your mind that, ma'am, how do we get the chromosomes from our parents? How the chromosomes enters our body? So the answer to this question is sexual reproduction. We all know that we are example of the results of sexual reproduction, right? So in sexual reproduction, what happens? We all know that in sexual reproduction there are involvement of two gametes, that is the male gamete and the female gamete. Female gametes come from the female, that is mother, and the male gametes come from the father. Okay, these gametes during the sexual reproduction comes together, and they fertilize with each other and results in the formation of zygote. So basically these sperms contain chromosomes, and these chromosomes are sperm and egg contains chromosome, and these chromosomes are being transferred to offspring in the form of via the sexual reproduction. Okay, so you might all be wondering, ma'am, that is fine, we get the genes in the process of sexual reproduction, that is as we discussed. So you might all be wondering, ma'am, there are some children which are not exactly like their parents, so what about them? Yeah, right, that's a very nice question, very good question. So to answer that question, during the sexual reproduction there occurs certain errors while the DNA replication happens during the formation of gamete that we discussed, male gamete and female gamete. During that process, the DNA replicates. So during the replication of DNA, there occurs some errors and some inaccuracies in the replication, and we call them variations. So variations are differences in characteristics. So what differences we see in characteristic among the different members of a family or a species, we call these differences as variations. And now you might be wondering, ma'am, how do variations occur? So how do variations occur? As I already told you, during the DNA copying or replication, during the reproduction, small inaccuracies occurs which leads to these variations. And there is a term for these errors which happens during DNA replication or copying, and we call it mutation. As you can see on the screen, mutation. Okay, so class, now we have another topic, that is evolution. So before starting this topic, we have what we have discussed till now. We have discussed about heredity characteristics, variations, how variations happens, and what is the mode of transfer of gametes, chromosomes from parents to offsprings, and how they are responsible for the transfer of characteristics, that is genes. We have discussed that. So now let's come to the topic evolution. So what is evolution? The mutation which we have discussed, these mutation over a period of time, that is many thousand years, they accumulate, these mutation, these variation accumulate in over a population. These genetic changes in a population that is inherited over several generations, they accumulate and slowly and gradually results in the advancement of the organism, and that is known as evolution. So class, this is all about today. Thank you so much. Take care.